Welcome back to my videos on sewing machines. I've been doing some heavy-duty sewing with my Singer heavy-duty machine, and so I needed some larger needles that had a larger groove to handle heavier threads. So I went to these, but when I was sewing, I was pretty sure I was hearing a sound. I'm going to be quiet now and let you listen. Ting, 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 ting. And it only does it with these needles. And even though these needles have a generous scarf, they're still a heavy needle. So, in order to do this adjustment, this needle can be moved back and forth away from the hook. It's the hook that it's hitting. So the hook is just barely scraping against the needle. And the adjustment for that is right here. This is a set screw, and allows this to be moved back and forth. And what that's going to do is it's going to change the location of the needle in relationship to that hook. And this is a very large needle, and if I could just get this needle to just barely clear, it'll be good with all my other needles and hopefully not have any problems picking up the thread on the hook. So I'm going to remove the bobbin casing by loosening and sliding this out. So this is the retainer right here. I should use this instead of my finger. This is the retainer that holds the bobbin case in. So I'm going to remove these screws and remove the retainer, and I'll be right back with you. So I have the bobbin case out, and here comes the hook. And if you watch real close, you can actually see the needle deflect to the right. See that? Right there. So there's not enough clearance for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hold you steady while I do this. I'm going to loosen this set screw, and then I move this bar back and forward to change that. Now, it's hard to see, I suppose, but right here is the pivot point. So when you move this, let me back this out. When you move this back and forth, there's a pivot, like a seesaw right here. So it moves in the opposite direction of how you move the upper part. So I'm going to zoom back in. And there it is right there, it's contacting. Okay, so I'm going to loosen the set screw, and if it's not stuck too hard, meaning the shaft that I want to move back and forth, see that? No more sound. It's quiet, but are we close enough between the hook and the needle? That's the question. So I'm going to reset the lock screw And that is a 2mm Allen, by the way, that is used to lock and unlock that. Okay, no sound. So what I'm going to do is it's very, very close to touching, but not touching, so that's good. So now when I run it, hang with me here for a second while I tighten this lock screw down, or set screw, whichever you wish. Now let's see what happens. Boy, there's just a little tiny bit of sound, but I don't want to lose the clearance when I put smaller needles in. So that I can live with. It's not going to do any damage. It's much quieter than it was. So while we're in here, here's the bobbin case, and just in case you're curious, where they put that red paint right there, let me clean that out right fast so you can see better. They put a sealant on there so the little screw doesn't move around. I know I'm off camera doing this. I'll be right with you. Okay, now it can be seen. Now, that red stuff is a sealant they put on there. That's your bobbin tension adjustment. And what it does is it increases the pressure on the spring where you feed the thread through. And that's how you change. You can either increase it or decrease it. I run mine fairly high because I work with a lot of heavy fabric with this machine, and I needed to pull the bobbin halfway through the layers. So the retainer that holds this bobbin case in is easily removed just with the tool that comes with the machine. So this little screwdriver is all it takes to loosen these two screws that hold the retainer. And by the way, there's a reason for that little screwdriver on there. That is exactly the right size to adjust that screw on the bobbin case to change the tension on the bobbin. So that is the solution to the problem with needle clearance. I hope this was helpful for you. Have a great day.